wave your flag, wave your rag, wave your hand from left to right. Raise your cup, raise your cup. Everybody know just how to jump up. PPP, take it back. PPP, take it back. PPP, take it back. PPP, take it back.
PPPC is the party for we. Watch how they call it with all PNC. What they don't know is a bigger victory. They say they will never call it, they will stay as KFC. Now they're gonna marry all PNC. Oh, PPPC is the party for we. Watch how they call
President and the next president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana,
Thank you, comrades and friends. Thank you very much, comrades and friends. Comrades, we have one more week to do. 7 more days to do. Then we must win this election with the biggest majority ever. These elections, we must win it so we can safeguard our future. We have delivered in this country. We have been a party of change in this country. We changed Guyana from being the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, but today we are described as a middle-income developing country. And we are ready to make greater change in our country to take us forward so that we can enjoy a high standard of living. And now our people will want to leave this country again because they will have a good and happy life right here in Guyana. And to do that, comrades, we have to deliver on the new kind of infrastructure we want. You know, our speakers mentioned that we want to build a strong economy and we want to build a modern economy so that we can modernize our country and have all the amenities here and we can push our country forward. We will once more make Guyana the most developed country in the Caribbean. We have already started to do that. Over the years, we have been creating the human capital for us to implement the plans that we have. You will recall, before the PPP got into office, not every child of primary school age could have gone to school. And only 30% of the children leaving primary school got into secondary schools. Today, 100% of our children are in primary schools. We have the highest enrollment in kindergarten education in the whole region. And more than 90% of our children now leaving primary school can go to secondary schools. And very soon, with the PPP civic in government, every single child will be able to go to secondary school. And comrades, that will make us, we're going to push ahead, and we will make Guyanese people the most educated people in the Caribbean. So that our country will attract investment here, not because of cheap labor, but we will attract investment here because we will have a highly educated workforce. We will attract the cutting edge industries to come here. And to add to that, with the fact now that we have a strong educated population, we must now put in the new infrastructure so that our country can move because we have the people that are capable of moving it. That is why we have to have cheap energy in Guyana. You know that cheap energy is essential to transform our country into an industrial manufacturing country, where we can add value to our agricultural products, where we can create high-paying jobs for our people. That is the thing we will have to do. And as you know, the opposition shut down the infrastructure, the hydropower that we wanted to bring here. But I promise you here again, that when we win these elections on May 11th, one of the top priorities will be to bring a Marina Falls hydro project to fruition. That is very essential because it will create thousands of high-paying jobs for our people. That is why we invested in technical institutes. And that is why we are helping more and more highest enrollment at our university ever. And more universities are being built. Offshore universities are being built here as we speak. Comrades, apart from that, we will build right in the Barbees River. Right in the Barbees River to improve our capacity. We will build a new deep water harbor that will be capable of allowing our country to become a maritime hub in the region. It will allow us to import and export goods at bigger volumes and bigger quantities. That is what we want to be doing here in the Barbees River. And we have to do this now because the Panama Canal is being expanded and bigger ships are being built. That will help us also to export more goods in bigger volumes, save transportation costs. It will help us to import in bigger volumes and also save and keep your cost of living down. That is how important it is. But more than that, we will create right there in this area a free economic zone where jobs will be created. More and more jobs will be created for the people of our country and in more particular for the people of Region 5 and 6. Thousands of technical jobs will be created. And we will tie that deep water harbor with a road to Latam that will connect us to Brazil. And that is why we can become a maritime hub for the whole Caribbean. That is some of the direction that we have to go. We also have to build a new airport because of two reasons. One, we need a new airport in order to develop our tourism sector. You know, many countries, Greece for instance, Greece is going through a deep economic crisis. And had it not been for tourism, that country could have collapsed. We have a powerful tourist product. The BBC said that people should try to come one time in their life to Guyana. And we have to put the infrastructure in place to ensure that we realize that dream. Already, we just commissioned the first world-class hotel in Guyana in the Marriott that we commissioned last week. That hotel is already employing more than 200 Guyanese. And when the entertainment complex come on stream in a not too distant future, it will employ another 200 Guyanese here to work at the Marriott. Comrades, to complement that, to add to that, and to create bigger volumes, we need a new airport. And that is essential because for us to land bigger planes here with more people, for us to have more airlines coming to our country, to bring down the cost of traveling, we need a new airport in Guyana. And we will build that new airport so we can develop the tourism sector. But we will also be able to help small farmers, the shadowed farmers, to get into the fresh markets, into the United States, into Canada, into Europe. Because with a new airport and many more flights, we will bring down freight costs. We will bring down freight costs in our country. And with low freight costs, we can send fresh vegetables, agricultural goods to reach the market on time. And your farmers, our cash crop farmers, can earn a much better life with having bigger markets for them to supply. These are the directions that we will have to go. Comrades, and we are also working with the Surinamis to bridge the Quarantine River so that we can drive all the way to Paramaribo non-stop. There again, that bridge will create new opportunities for our people. That could be another area where we can open new free economic zones, create manufacturing jobs, and to allow our people to have higher standards of living. The same thing with the road to Latam. Again, right there, we can also have another free zone to create goods and services to supply in the South American market. We need also the broad our place for agriculture. We're looking at new crops, apart from the sugar industry, which has been spoken about already. But let me say here that we believe that the best days of the sugar industry is still ahead of us. We are working to create new revenue stream for the industry, for it to have new revenue streams. And we are committing ourselves that over the next 5 years, we will spend a minimum of $20 billion to ensure that the industry survives and strives and goes forward. Comrades, we are also working on the roads. We have improved the road work here tremendously. You can now move very easily to Georgetown with your products. And in the area where we get in congestion in traffic, we are building wider roads, bigger roads, so that they can move faster and more safer to their destination. And we are also making it easy for goods to be transported and be air freighted out of our country, because we connected the East Bank Highway to the East Coast Highway with a road that will come through Ogle, and that will help tremendously in easing traffic congestion and moving goods to the airport to be freighted at cheaper cost. Comrades and friends, the danger to this plan, there's one danger to this plan. One issue that we have to deal with in this plan. We have to defeat the machinations of the joint opposition, who over the last 3 years, all that they have shown is their capacity to destroy and their ability to try to hold back the progress of our country. We cannot afford to go back anymore in the era. The road is only forward right now, and therefore we have to ensure that these people never again get their hands on the state apparatus. Comrades, they not only cut the prevented us from building the Maya hydropower station. You heard that they cut $89 billion over the last 3 years from our budget. They cut things that affect you. You remember last year that we gave you $10,000 for every child that you had in school, from kindergarten to secondary school. You remember that program? You collected the money? Well, comrades, that is one of the programs that the opposition wanted to cut from the budget. And when we put it back in, that is when they went with a no confidence motion to the parliament, showing you that it was not accidental the first time they cut it. To demonstrate that it was not accidental, they went with a no confidence motion, showing that they're totally anti-people, that they don't want you to progress and to develop. Can we trust those people in government anytime? Then we will have to keep them out. We will have to keep them out. Comrades, they also cut the airport, the budget for the airport. They cut the Amerindian Development Fund. After they pauperized the Amerindian population for the years that they have been in government, never did anything for them. Now they're trying to prevent their progress, trying to stop them from progressing when we are putting funds for Amerindian development. We have therefore to try to stop them. We have to stop them at these elections, and we have to stop them in every way that they want to come. Because they have shown their cloven hoof. They have shown what they want to do. They don't want to pass. They don't want to pass the bill, the anti-money laundering bill, the bill that is designed to fight against organized crime in our country and in the world. The bill that will make Guyana laws hostile to the criminals in our society. And if we don't pass the bill, the international community can blacklist us. Two times they voted against this bill in the parliament. In voting against this bill, they are actually voting it for making our country a haven for criminals. But we must not be surprised about that, because the opposition has a history of tying themselves up with criminal elements. When we have the Rodney Commission now going on in the city, and it is coming out clearly there that when they were in government, they used to take weapons from the army. And a lot of those weapons have found themselves in the hands of criminals. We see that in Maikoni, when the police confronted the bandits there, they found them with weapons that the PNC took from the army. When they had the killing, the Fine Man gang, when they killed people in Ruzatan and on the east bank of the Malara, they had weapons that they took from the army. And you must notice, every single time our police confront the bandits, whenever they confront criminals, the opposition never give them any support. They always attack them and say that they're executing people and extrajudicial killings. This opposition party has been constantly linked with the criminal elements. The same James Bond that is doing wickedness now in trying to support our elections and what he's doing on his Facebook. He is one of the biggest defenders of the criminal elements in our society. Look at Nigel Hughes. He got off the men who killed the people in Lutiknan, even though they had eyewitnesses by conflict of interest. When the foreman of the jury was his client for 7 years, and he said he did not remember that. Comrades, these people are now coming and talking to you about security. I heard Granger said when he was in Bartica that never again there will be any massacre in Bartica if he becomes president. Well, he reminds me of a statement that Forbes Burnham once made. Burnham once said, "He who calls off the dogs, own the dogs." Own the dogs. So very, very clearly, Granger is implying that he is in control of the dogs. He is in control of the dogs, and he can seek them, and he can hold them back whenever he likes. Comrades, we have to be very careful with our future, with our children's future. We have to ensure that we win back the majority in the parliament. We cannot allow them anymore to have any kind of control in the parliament as they had the last time. You notice they took everything in the parliament and they used the parliament not to promote the development of our country, but to try to stop it in every way. And the AFC that came here at the last elections to promise 20% increase to our workers, they agreed with Abdu that the industry must be shut down. When last year we voted with $6 billion to help the sugar industry, Abdu voted against it, and AFC tried to cut the budget. These are hypocrites. These are people who are only interested in power for the sake of having power. These are people who want to dictate to you what you must eat. They ban flour, they ban potato, they ban dal, they ban all of these things. That is why they want power. And that is why you will notice when they had their discussion to form their coalition, they did not speak about what they will do for you. What they spoke about was who will become Prime Minister and who will become President. And Nagamudu wants 4 Vice Presidents. 4 Vice Presidents he wants. Imagine, we have less than 1 million people in Guyana, and we are a developing country. And the United States is one of the most developed countries in the world, and they got 300 million that these people are going through. Comrades, they have proven to be completely incompetent. Right, I want those of you in Region 5 to recall the Trafalgar pump. They built the Trafalgar pump in 1983. In 1983, at the cost of $7.5 million US. It worked for 2 years and it collapsed. The PPP had to come and fix it back. And we, only in this 2 years, we spent $4 million US and we built 14 pumps in this area. And these are the same people who tell us about corruption. When they were in government, with all the money they claimed they spent, they only had 11,000 acres of land under cultivation. We now have more than 100,000 acres of land under cultivation area. Comrades, we have to be sure that we guard and protect the future, guard and protect our gains that we have made. Many speakers before me have told you that we have now moved from being despised by the Caribbean to now being envied by the Caribbean because of our economic growth. We have to safeguard our dignity, that these people destroyed when they were in government. And therefore, we have to be careful and not, we have to walk the ground. Every single vote will come at these elections. We have to meet, we have to walk house to house. We have to walk in every marketplace. We have to walk in every street, in every nook and cranny. And we have to get every vote to come out at these elections. We have also to be careful. We have to be careful not to allow any PNC person that penetrates the election machinery to get over with any kind of machinations. What they're planning to do, they're planning to steal from us some among the votes in every polling station. They're planning to take a thief about 50 votes in every station, and they calculate how many stations they have. They will deprive us about 5 or 6 seats. That is their plan that they have. And how they will do it, they have different ways they try to do it. So many presiding officers do not stamp the ballots, both ballots, and when they come to count the votes, they reject them as spoiled votes. So you must ensure when you go to vote and you get your ballot, you must ensure that you have the stamp at the top and at the bottom. Both ballot papers must be stamped. If the presiding officer don't stamp it, you must ask him to stamp it in both places. That's the first thing. The second thing we know, what they do, particularly in PNC strongholds, coming late in the afternoon, 5:30 in the afternoon, they tend to want to storm the booth, storm the area, and force out the ballot papers that are there. We must ensure that these things will not happen. This is the experience we have, and we are alerting the Elections Commission, the security forces, and the international observers that are here to ensure that they do not have the opportunity to do as they did in previous elections. Comrades and friends, once more, I want to remind you that throughout the history of the PPP and the PPP said it. We stood by you in every difficult circumstance. In fact, one of the reasons that some of the newspapers don't like us is because they see us as a party standing with the ordinary people. They believe, some of them believe, that because the PPP fought to give you the right to vote, that we have given too much power to ordinary workers and farmers, and they don't like us for that. And some of them who got rich by black marketing and other things, illegal trade, and other illegal activities that they do, they don't like us because they see us as preventing them from taking over the state to do what they want. We have stood by you all the time, and therefore on day 11, I ask you, when you go into the polling booth, to look at the cup, look for the cup, to put your legs to the box at the side of the cup, to stand by the PPP Senate, stand by us, and let us take our country forward and let us realize the full potential and the opportunities that we now have. Thank you for your attention and God bless you.